Okay, we've had a few requests for some fin repairs. So I think Perks has got a few fins that he's going to do some work on, and said, yeah, come over and we'll get some footage of it. So just wandering over now, and yeah, have a look at whether they're carbon or G10, I'm not sure, but what he plans to do. I've got one fin with me, G10, might try and do some work on that as well. Okay, here we go. Oh, chopping wood, oh my god. Wow. chopping wood in the middle of summer.
Safety equipment.
Yeah, keep the fire, keep the house warm.
Just clean up the mess.
Right. Okay. I forgot to do anything about my fins.
What's
but
that?
That's a G10. Are you doing carbon or G10?
I was going to just do carbon.
Yeah, no worries.
But I might have some resin, so...
Yeah. I did have a carbon one I could have brought, but I think we'll do it another time.
Yeah,
if you're going to do more.
Well, I'll probably be doing this one later.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So,
Wow.
like this is the one I'm going to have a crack at.
Yeah.
You can see here, see how it's hit the bottom, sand and shell grit.
Yeah.
So it's quite, but only up to about here.
Okay.
So we just need to restore the tip a little bit.
Yeah.
This one here.
And your plan is to be basically restoring, not sanding out?
No, because see, if you sand out on carbon, which is laid up in a mould, layers of carbon, and there's a filler in the middle, which if you look on this one, you can see the filler, see up here? Yeah. Where that's been sanded through. Yeah. So I've put some graphite filler in here. Okay. And restored it, but I've hit the bottom again and broken the tip clean off it. Yeah. So what I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to cut it into that shape. Right, okay. So I'll take that off and put that back, and then I'll put a bit more filler and try and restore it. I was sanding earlier and ruining carbon fins, so now I'm starting to rebuild them. Yeah. I think the trick is with a carbon fin is to not let it get past this point, so as soon as it gets damaged, do what we're about to do and put an edge back on it. That way you're not taking the integrity of the shape. Yeah. You're just putting back that little bit you're taking out. And it might not last as long as the original, but it just puts it back. If you're going to hit the bottom, doesn't matter what sort of carbon fin it is, you're going to take that edge straight off. True. And even the filler that I put back in, it'll come out just the same. So so the carbon's you've lost nothing. Anyway. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to restore that. Can you see the jagged edge? You might be able to see it on the timber there. So it's only up to about here. Yeah. And we're just going to put that leading edge back on. Yeah. If you look at the fin here, this one's been done again. You can see. Right. Yeah. You can see the graphite filler in there. Yeah. And you can see that the edge is very smooth again. Yeah. Yeah. So you've restored it, but you haven't sanded any of the surface as such. Because there's only about 2 or 3, 4 layers, whatever layers they put in the layup of that before they put a core in it. Okay. Chip in the end of that one. Right. So what I generally do is I take some tape, I'll turn it round so I work on it a bit. Stay off that. So with this idea, you don't want to get all over the fin because you're just going to have to sand it off. Yeah. And then you're sanding into your carbon, so why put it on there to start with? Yeah. So the idea of a bit of tape on here, make sure it's stuck. Yeah. That's about the area. It's nice and smooth up here. Yeah. So I don't want to go past that point. Yeah. So that's where I want to get resin. Got you. And I might take another one, bad tape, and put on here. Like so. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And that I want to stick to the other bit of masking tape, just so I can get some resin under that edge. Yeah. Because we're going to work from this side. Yeah. And that was about there. Yeah. So that way I can open up that edge and see, just get some resin in there, and then I can push that back later.
Yeah.
And we know we've got resin in there, hopefully no bubbles.
Yeah.
I don't have to put in some filler again later.
Right, yeah.
So from there, mix up some resin.
Okay.
Which I've got over here.
Right.
Which I put it in the sun just to warm it up.
Okay.
When you mix it, if it's a little warmer, of course it'll cure better.
Yeah.
But it will also release the bubbles out of it and less air bubbles in it, which is good too. We won't need much, so you don't need a hell of a lot.
Is that 2 to 1 or?
This is West Systems. This is 5 to 1.
5 to 1, yeah.
Pretty primitive.
Just on top of the old resin that's cured.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't worry too much about that job.
2 different syringes.
Yeah, my kit, so that I don't get them mixed up.
Yep.
That one. Hardener. Put 5 mils in there, so obviously I need 10 mils here.
Yep. 1.
Make sure there's no air in this syringe,
Yeah.
which in this case there isn't, so that'll be fine. There.
Christmas music.
Christmas, because it's Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Blowing out there today. It's
if
windy.
You're into that.
We didn't go out on the low tide this morning.
Was
Probably
there
could
any
have.
wind?
Yeah, there was quite a bit. 18 to 20. Bit southwest.
So I've mixed that up, and I've got a bit in there. What I'm going to do is pour a little bit into here.
Okay.
So I won't need a lot.
Yep.
Like so. I've got a little bit in there.
Yeah.
You see air bubbles in it. It'll get air bubbles in it. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah.
You can get rid of them with a bit of heat.
Right, oh wow.
You see they all pop out. Warms it up a bit. I'll put in a plastic container.
Yeah.
And then we'll put, I use this graphite powder.
Right.
I use it like you probably should
Yeah.
wear a mask and all that sort of stuff, but in a well ventilated area.
Yep.
And I go about to 1 part resin.
Yep.
To about 1.5 of this.
Right.
Seems to be a reasonable mix.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
like it's like using it
Yeah.
as not just a filler, but as a binding.
Yep.
It feels like it binds to me better than just putting resin in there.
Yeah.
So it seems to stick better. It's very sandable, and you mix it up nice.
And looks the part.
Yeah, and it's black.
Yeah.
And you basically have a finish that is nearly undetectable sometimes.
Yeah.
So nicely all mixed up.
Okay.
We're ready to go. So we'll just make sure that we are on here. Just go like this.
Yeah.
So I can get a little look in here. So I want to get some down the back.
Yeah.
I won't worry too much about spillage, but basically now all you're doing is putting it in there.
Yeah, okay.
So you're just trying to create, because you're fixing them regularly,
Yeah.
there's not that much damage, so it's a lot easier to do it more often than do it every year.
Yeah.
So that way you only need a little bit.
Yeah.
And the sanding's minimal, everything's just a lot easier for a 10-minute job.
Yeah.
So come out right out to that mark. I've just scraped it in behind the tape. down. What I want to do now is just pull it up a little.
Yeah.
Just to get it up. Might actually put a bit of tape behind that. Hold that up a bit.
Yeah, okay.
And then I just want to make sure that I've got it on this side just enough.
Yeah.
Just enough. Don't want it all over the fin. You can use a needle or a pin is always good to do this with.
Yeah.
This stick is probably a bit big, to be honest. And there you go.
Fantastic.
So
The tip's got enough on it there.
Yeah,
yeah, that was in pretty good nick anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I can put a little bit there just in case, since we've gone with it. Create a little bit of something just to hold that up so we don't lose it everywhere. We'll just get a bit in the end there. Like so. So you don't want too much. You can't really extend the tip.
Yeah.
Because it'll just break off.
Yeah.
But just filling all those little little nicks.
Yeah.
And
great.
There you can sand that off. You know the shape because it's still there.
Yeah.
So you don't have to touch this surface very much at all.
Really just haven't put too much on.
No.
Yeah, just that leading edge, filling the little corrugations in it.
And that's basically it. And the same for a G10.
Yeah.
Do the same thing. You can see gone through the shell pretty seriously with that. So but that'll restore quite nicely. You might have some surface scratches. Don't worry about them too much. I wouldn't.
Yeah, okay.
You're just trying to get that serrated edge away and get back to this sort of edge you've got further up your fin.
Yeah.
This leading edge up here.
Great.
And
what about the deltas from Albany?
They got knocked around quite a bit.
Yeah.
The other ones, this is one of my...
You got a few fins there,
as you can see, it's
I've
sanded it a little bit because it's flattened out quite a bit, so I do want to build that back a little bit up to sort of here, but it's a very blunt leading edge anyway because it's being a weed fin.
Yeah. So
I have given it a rough sand just to get some bonding power onto that, and hopefully we'll see how that goes. It should be all right.
Yeah.
If I think it's too much of a problem, well, I'll probably just
fair it back a bit.
Fair it back a bit because there is plenty of fin there. But you can see your shape of your fin, and you don't. The more you're saying that's going to bend these lines and change the profile of that fin down near the tip. So
angled back, you don't want that.
I know it's only little bits and pieces, 1%, but 1% count.
They do
when you add them all up.
Yeah. Definitely.
What was the other thing we were going to fix? So that's the other one.
Okay. Now it's actually lost the tip.
Yeah, broke off.
Yeah.
I did hit. Unfortunately, I hit a shelf, like lots of little small shells.
Yeah.
And just tore the bottom clean off it.
Yeah.
That's the trouble here. We have 3 metres of tide.
Yeah.
And with 3 metres of tide at some point, and you're sailing a lot of the times behind sandbanks, at some point you're going to hit the bottom. Yeah.
Where you stop the time before, and then it's changed the next time you're there.
Changed, or you miss time. It's a bit murky in the water, and you just can't see the bottom. Yeah. So anyway.
Great.
Yeah. So I'll sand that off and have a look at that.
Right.
Next.
Not doing that one now.
Yeah, I will do.
Yep. Great. Good. And how long do you leave it to dry?
I'd leave that overnight now.
Yeah.
It's epoxy, so just make sure it's nice and hard before you start sanding. Yeah. So overnight's perfect.
And does the tape come off pretty easily?
Yeah, tape will peel off there all right, and leaving it that long will allow the tape to come off all right. Yeah. Of course you want to be careful, you don't want to get there and rip it off like a maniac. Yeah. You do need to want to peel it.
Yeah. And leave the material on the fin.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we might see if we can come back tomorrow and have a look at that part.
Yeah, do that later.
Great, brilliant. Excellent. Okay.
I've sanded the broken tip off.
Okay.
It doesn't look pretty, it looks very blunt now, but I guess the proof will be in the writing. Yeah. And we'll know then. Yeah. And because I've sanded through the layers a bit, I've just spread. It's very much how you're going.
Yeah.
1,000
like
people might say,
it.
what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I've done.
Right. Yeah.
And
Coating where you've sanded.
Yeah.
And then you'll
just
sand
give
it.
that a light sand.
Yeah.
And a wet and dry.
Yeah.
And effectively I've covered any of the exposed or thin areas of the carbon mat.
Yeah. Just with a thin layer of resin.
Try and get something solid on it.
Yeah. Great.
It's just desperation to save it, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop it just keeps on getting worse.
Yeah, well, eventually it becomes buggered, but
okay.
Yeah, you just don't want to throw them away too early.
Absolutely, and then you got quite a
too
lot
dear.
They are G10 fins, so I'm going to get some resin and toothbrush and clean them. Water and toothbrush, clean out all the grit, leave them to dry.
Salt,
and then tape them all up like you've done with the G10. Get your resin mix and wow, heating that a bit. Bubbles?
No, just to level it off a bit.
Right, okay.
Put it on there.
Yeah.
Self-level a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right.
It's better than doing nothing.
Yeah. And,
no good if you do nothing.
Heaps of other things that we can repair and do. So,
it's constant.
We'll try and make some more of these little sort of fixing things videos. Thanks, Perks.
Very good.
Okay, we're back. It's the next day. We've
everything's
let the resin dry.
Drying off nicely.
Yep.
That was the weed fin we were looking at.
Okay.
You can see that we built up the edge really nice, but this I'm showing you this because it's a good example of because you build it up so much that how the resin shrinks away if you don't overfill enough.
Yeah.
And that's why it's good to turn up the tape so that it holds it up there. So I'm going to have to touch that up with a little bit more at some point.
Yeah. Does it matter that it's sort of shiny, that resin? Would you try and get a bit of sandpaper in there?
Probably not, as long as you don't get too much oils on it, like me rubbing it with my hands, but things like that. But it should stick all right to it.
Okay.
This is a little bit of an experiment because with a weed fin, there's a lot of erosion through the weed, and I may have this graphite mix a little bit too soft.
Yep.
So I may have to make that thicker at some point, like less graphite to resin. To make it a bit more durable, but it's working. So
good.
We just kept trying it. Nothing lost. It all just wears off and put it back on.
Looks good.
So that's that one. This was the one I showed you the leading edge of.
Yeah,
the Sim 29. So everything's dry there. I pulled the tape off that. You're still going to see these scratches. I'm going to leave them. They're too hard to fix without sanding them out.
Yeah.
So all I want to do is restore this nice leading edge.
Yeah.
And the same with the carbon one. Same thing. We've filled that. I showed you how sawtoothed it was on the leading edge because of the shell grit. So we just get rid of that tape.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, it can come off a little, sometimes stick. So you might find, and you've got to remember, this is all about having a go. And finding your own way a bit too. So, you might find that maybe some duct tape.
Doesn't leave the paper.
So we end up with it like so. And all I'll do is take a fairly, because you've got a lot there, fairly abrasive bit of paper. I just keep using all my old bits. And just take that down to somewhere near. You don't want to go too far. But somewhere near, just to get down there. Just close. And then you can start taking the sides. And the sides are going to put the leading edge.
I'm just going to look out the window for a sec. Because it is, as is often the case, absolutely howling. It's high tide, so it's just choppy and rough out there. And raining, about to. But very windy. Okay.
So just anything. Well, with this, you don't want to use any overly
sort of 800 wet and dry.
Yeah, anything over too aggressive, because you'll whip it off too quick. But that's built up quite a lot. So I do have a bit of work to do here.
Yeah.
So I probably need something with a little bit of get it off fast sort of attitude.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll do it forever. Just go slow.
Yeah.
Bit by bit. The more you do it, the more you'll get the feel, and also the amount you put on too.
Yeah.
Which will help.
And that's an MK1, MK2 bin,
yeah.
carbon,
Reliable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get rid of the bulk. But that's why, like, and also if you're not confident with the first time and doing what I did earlier, putting the resin along the leading edge, put some tape on this side, so that way you've kept it nice and neat to the edge, and you haven't got that issue of having to try and get it off like I've got here a little bit. That's quite thick there.
Yeah.
I might go a little bit more aggressive with that.
Yeah.
Take some of that down quicker.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. And that way you're not just sanding any of the other fin away really either.
No, you're just taking what you've put on back to what lines up
just
with
leaving that leading edge.
the natural shape of the fin.
Yeah.
So you're not changing profile. We're getting back into the fin now. And with a little bit of time, patience, you start to get back to the actual fin. Off there, I think. Everything looks fairly straight. Got something going on there somewhere.
Right.
Not much. So it's just a little bit too blunt. Keep coming back to where you think the actual original edge was.
Yeah.
You sort of feel where I joined there.
Yeah.
So I just need to get that back to that edge. Better.
Yeah.
And just general, like something like I got 800 here. 400 would be fine. It just takes things steady and slow. And you can just play with it and not. You can recover from your mistakes.
That looks good.
So it's starting to get at it now. So I think that's pretty close. What I do now is probably take that to the sink and just clean it up with a bit of wet and dry. With the same wet and dry. But just with water. Just so that any sort of scratches or anything I've left there just come out. And as you can see there now, you can probably see the edge. And we haven't taken into this carbon layer too much. So. And it's back. It'll probably come off again when you hit the bottom, but at least you do it again and you can
fix.
use the fin again.
That's a nice angle there.
Good.
Fantastic. Great. Good. It looks good.
Just wants a little bit of wet and dry. So that's about it.
Fantastic. That looks nice. And then same process for the
same
G10.
Process with the G10.
Yeah.
And as I showed you, I did one earlier. This one we did earlier, the same thing.
Yeah, okay, I think we had a look at that yesterday. Yeah.
There'll be little nicks, and there'll be marks.
Yeah.
Where you're
not trying to get them perfect.
You can't really get rid of them without sanding those out. So I tend to live with those, and all I want is to restore this leading edge, the bit that cuts into the water. So, yeah. Fantastic. Great. Well, like I said, it might not be right,
just what you've been doing.
It's just what I do.
And I'm now going to start doing a bit of trial and error.
Well, it just gets more life out of your equipment. They're very expensive.
Yeah, rather than using, I don't know, getting some of my fins have gotten really bad, whereas if I'd have done them more often, they wouldn't be where they are now.
Exactly.
But,
so it's a little bit all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Gives them a lot longer life.
Yeah. And what about the deltas?
Well, the deltas, they're
just in terms of how bad.
Well, they're the same because
same process.
Same process. We use them at Albany, which has got little tiny shells on the weed, so it is quite aggressive. So they're not too bad. They haven't really scratched up on the surface, but the leading edge obviously is worn away, so they don't look too bad. Yeah. So I'll just do the same thing, and just a little serrated all through there. So just put the same in that, and
so it's not actually even that hard, even though that feels quite worn.
It'll come back quite easily. And
it's more the whole length.
Yeah. It's just through the whole length. Yeah. Because the weed seems to sit on the surface. Yeah. Well, if you're silly enough to ride across it while it's floating on the surface.
Who'd do that?
Who'd do that? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they'll come back fine.
Yeah.
They'll look good.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, that's good. We'll have to look at what other fixes. I think batten fixes one we're going to do at some point.
Yep.
Just basically broken tube and how to fix a broken tube.
A quick fix. While we were away this trip in WA, I broke a batten and had it up and running by the next day. So if you're onto it quickly, and just with stuff you can get from the hardware shop.
Yeah, so, which is what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So
Excellent. All right. Thank you for that.
Perfect.
Talk soon.